Welcome to another cruise adventure with Lost Ashore. If you're new around here, my real name is Victoria, but I am known online as Lost Ashore, and I started cruising when I was 19 years old. Despite thinking that I would hate it, I absolutely fell in love with it, and now I'm a cruise addict. So this week's cruise addiction has brought me onto Marella Explorer 2, and we are sailing around the Adriatic to soak up the last of those sun rays before we spend winter in gloomy, depressing, wet England. Marella Explorer 2 is an adult-only ship that is owned by the travel company TUI, and we are going to take you along for the adventure to show you what we get up to this week. I am saying we because my best friend is with me, but you will mostly just see me on camera because she does not want this shoved in her face all the time. I might irritate her with it sometimes, we'll see. On this channel we do a lot of dress code chat because I am trying to dispel this idea that on cruise ships you have to wear your tuxedo or wear your ball gown every single evening. Anybody who knows me or has followed me for a long time knows that I'm not girly, I don't do glitter, and most of the time you can catch me parading into the dining room in a pair of shorts, even if it annoys my fellow passengers. On that note though, tonight on Marella, it is Marella's version of formal night. Now Marella call it dress to impress evening, and it is not mandatory. You do not have to join in if you don't want to. However, I am going to endeavour to show you mine and Natalie's, if she'll let me, outfit every evening so you can get used to the idea of what people wear on cruise ships. This is a concept I started over on TikTok, so by all means if you want to go follow me over there and have a look at what I've got on, feel free to do so. Some of the comments about how outraged people are by my clothes are quite frankly hilarious, and you'll get a good giggle out of it if you get nothing else. Hello, as promised we are going to do outfits of the evening just so you can tell what people wear around the ship. This is Natalie, by the way. You will see her sometimes. She might just look really angry. It's not that she hates you, it's that she wants to stab me for being on the internet. Right, outfit of the night. My glasses are Ray-Ban. I actually need these to see, not making some sort of quirky fashion statement. Headband is Shein, bracelet is Pandora, little necklace is from a little independent jewelry designer in Edinburgh called Rosie Brown's. My dress, which is incredibly short and I might horrify all the old people, is from Boohoo, and my heels are from Shein.
Yep.
Natalie?
Next up. So my earrings are from my nana's jewellery box, as is my bracelet, which is actually a necklace just wrapped around. My ring was my mum's first engagement ring. My dress is Lipsy, and my shoes are from Pavers.
we are on day 2 of our adventure around the Adriatic after we spent day 1 yesterday at sea. This morning we have pulled into Copa Slovenia. Please don't laugh at me if I'm saying that wrong. Our captain is English and our captain is very much saying Koper, so if it is pronounced differently, I blame him. It's actually forecast to rain all over us today, so we're crossing our fingers it doesn't and we get some sunshine, but we'll bring you along to see the sights either way. Currently I'm just waiting for Natalie to get ready because I am a morning person and Natalie is not, so she is now glowering at me. Fun fact for your team, every time me and Natalie share a cabin, on a morning I wake her up by brushing my teeth because Natalie complains that I am the world's loudest teeth brusher. We avoided the rain in Koper. It did not rain on us and I've just popped back on to tell you about some of the things that we got up to in case you're visiting Koper in the near future and you would like to hear some tips and tricks. So the first thing we did this morning was climb up the bell tower. I will Google its actual name and insert it here so that you know. It costs €5 an adult to climb up the bell tower. You do have to climb up the old-fashioned way. There is no lift, but the stairs have been replaced by nice strong steel ones and there's plenty of handrails to help you on the way up. There's also plenty of places to stop where you can learn about the history of the bell tower. Once you get up there is an absolutely cracking view of Koper, so you can have a good ogle at the view and also work out where you want to go once you come back down. I apologise for the banging, guys. There is a big container ship behind me and obviously they don't care that I'm making a vlog. They give zero cares about the fact that I'm making a vlog. So at the top of the bell tower you can work out where you want to go in the rest of Koper. Once you come back down it's actually a really adorable place to wander around. Very Italian in influence, so if you were wandering around Koper and you didn't know where you were, you would probably assume that you were somewhere in Italy, and that is due to years of historical Italian occupation. So lots of pastel coloured buildings and little cobbled streets for you to amble around. We recommend a visit to the harbour because that was really pretty, and the sea in the harbour is exceedingly clear. Like, I was so surprised by how clear it was considering that our cruise ship was in port, there's cargo ships in port, there was oil tankers in port, and the sea is still so clear that it looks like it's come out of the tap. This one is absolutely fuming because she actually doesn't like how she's dressed, so that is the reason for the fact that she's looking at you with murder in her eyes. Right, I am wearing a boiler suit type play suit. It is from Fat Face, and because I'm boring I'm wearing exactly the same jewellery as yesterday. So one Pandora, one little ankle necklace from Rosie Brown, Ray-Bans because I cannot see, and if I can manage to show you my feet, feel free to laugh because I think I've been wearing my trainers for about 5 years and they look deceased, but they are so comfy. So all on the bottom of my feet I am wearing baby blue Adidas Gazelles from the children's section because I only have little feet and you don't have to pay tax on children's shoes. Here is Captain Angry.
Yes, who really, really does not like these shorts, which are from Next, and I think it's just because they don't fit right, which is why I don't like them. My top is from Shein. My ring on my right hand is from Etsy. It's actually a fidget ring, so I do enjoy that. My left, I think that's from Etsy as well. I'm not 100% sure. Garmin smartwatch. The necklace I wear every day was a present. I have no idea where that came from. Earrings are from TK Maxx, and my sandals are from Clarks.
Good morning team, it is day 3 of our Adriatic adventure and today we're in the port of Rijeka. We do have a plan to go to a castle. I will insert the name of said castle down here because I don't know how to say it. However, we are planning to go to the castle on the public bus and it is Sunday, so we might have issues with Sunday service. There might not be buses. I will obviously update you later as to how we got on, so cross your fingers that the next time you see me it's either castle footage or it's me telling you that we got there. Afternoon, there was buses. It was not a Sunday service. However, I would have got greatly confused by the bus if I had not had Natalie to tell me where to go. So I am going to do you a service and I am going to tell you where to go in case you don't have a Natalie to direct you. So you need to get off the ship. You're going to walk all the way around the outside of the harbour. While we're here, there are some absolutely beautiful giant mega yachts in to admire. You might be able to do the same thing. I wanted to go ask if they would have me, but Natalie wouldn't have joined me. She didn't think that was acceptable behaviour. So you're going to walk all the way around the outside of the harbour. On the other side of the harbour there is a big red boat. I think it's some sort of floating hotel and it says on the front of it Botel Marina. Opposite Botel Marina there is a big yellow building and a bus stop. You're going to go stand in that bus stop. You want the number 2 intercity, and that will take you all the way up to the castle so you don't have to climb the 671 steps. It is €2 each way, so €4 round trip, and when you get up to the castle you don't have to pay admission. It's completely free of charge and a good little place to wander around past a couple of hours. So you can climb up the outside of the castle, admire the view of the city below you, or you can go inside the castle crypt where there is some monuments to tell you all about the history of the castle, because it actually used to be owned by an Irishman of all people who helped restore the castle, and it tells you about all the wonderful things he did to make sure that the castle was still functional. He ended up in Croatia after he fought in the Napoleonic Wars, so don't worry, he isn't the kind of person who's come over to colonise Croatia. The people of Croatia were very happy to have him and his contribution. I think it's night 3. I think so.
It's the 3rd time we've dressed up. It's technically night 4.
Yeah, outfit of the night 3. We didn't wear proper clothes on the first night because we'd been on a plane and we looked like we'd been dragged through a hedge. So our plans for this evening involve Italian restaurant, a musician and a deck party. I wanted Natalie to stay out and be wild after the deck party, but she looked at me like that was not an option. So I think I'm going to get dragged to bed. Right, Hair was done by my in-cabin hairdresser, Natalie. Glasses are Ray-Ban like every other night. I do own 2 pairs of glasses. I didn't bring 2 pairs of glasses. Bracelet, Pandora. Necklace, Rosie Brown. My little dress with lemons on is from Next. And my sandals, well, we do the contortion. My sandals are from TK Maxx.
Okay, dress is from M&S. Ring is from Etsy. Watch is Garmin again. Blue earrings are from Etsy as well, and the stars are from H. Samuel. And then same sandals as last night, also Clark's.
Good morning team, it is day 4 on our Adriatic adventure and we are in Ancona, Italy. We're not sure what there is to do, but we will have a wander around and obviously I will show you some clips of what we find or what we get up to. I just want to take a moment to tell you about last night because we had a brilliant night on board and it wasn't actually nothing to do with the ship's entertainment. We had the most serendipitous meeting with 2 other passengers which absolutely blew our mind. So first of all, we found out that they knew people that lived in Natalie's hometown. Now nobody ever knows where Natalie is from, so we just tell people she's from the nearest big city. And then we found out that they also knew my dad. They went to secondary school with my dad and one of their boyfriends was my dad's best friend. So it really is a small world, and the people that you meet on cruise ships is one of the brilliant parts about cruising, that you get to meet people from all different walks of life. Me and Natalie then attempted to go to the deck party, and I'm sorry Marella Cruises, but I have seen more life at a funeral. It was the deadest deck party I have ever seen, and I have been on cruise lines where the average age is significantly higher. So me and Natalie decided that we would make our own deck party, and in the pitch black, because there is no lights at sea, in the utter inky blackness, we stood on the prom deck and sang and danced to Disney songs. And this is why you need a best friend who gets you, because it was such brilliant crack, but it was just us 2, no entertainment needed. Hopefully we'll have saw the things we got up to in Ancona if Victoria of the future has inserted all the clips correctly. I just want to tell you a little story time about how we actually ended up there because it was hilarious. So me and Natalie are just wandering around Ancona having a little mooch like through the city centre, and a woman stops us in a shop to ask where we're from because we're both incredibly pale. Like if you have met either of us in real life, we're both very naturally pale people. We look like we have never seen the light of day, and this led to a conversation conducted half in English and half in French and a little bit with Google Translate about how this woman realised that we were on a cruise ship and that's why we were so pale, and then she told us all about the cruise that her sister had gone on MSC, and then she told us about the places that we could go in Ancona that were really, really pretty. Now I'm going to help you out by passing those along to you in case you are coming to Ancona on a ship anytime soon. So when you get off the ship in Ancona, the instructions you get given by the cruise port are, if you walk out of the cruise terminal and then you walk to the right, you will end up in Ancona city centre. If you walk all the way along the main high street and you keep walking, you will come to a beautiful monument that has been erected in honour of those who fought in World War One. I will insert its name along here because I am destined to say it wrong, but this monument also has a beautiful viewpoint out over the sea, so it's a really good place to watch the world go by, to honour obviously those who fought in World War One. Just a lovely place to see in Ancona if you are coming here on a cruise ship. Outfit of the night 4. Tonight we have plans to go to speciality dining in the Beach Cove, and Natalie here is obsessed with Halloween, so this is going to be our version of a Halloween costume for this year, and we are a saint and a sinner. I've just said that Natalie looks like she's just buried her 4th husband and she just killed him for his money. Meanwhile, Natalie said that I looked like a Russian peasant. I think we should all be offended on my behalf. Everybody should just be mean to Natalie in the comments because she said I was a Russian peasant. Anyway.
I feel like you get more offended by the Russian part of that, to be entirely honest.
No, I'm offended by being a peasant.
Fair enough.
Right, glasses, Ray-Bans as normal. Bracelet still Pandora. You might have guessed I didn't pack jewellery. Necklace still rosy brown. And my Russian peasant dress, as Natalie is calling it, is from Shein. And I have exactly the same sandals on as the other day. They're from TK Maxx. They keep dyeing my feet blue. So at the end of every night, everybody laughs at me for having Smurf feet.
It's good fun, not gonna lie. Right, so my dress is from Next, as are these dangly skeleton earrings that I love. Both my rings are from Etsy, and these shoes are the same ones I wore the other night. They're from Pavers.
Good morning team, it is day 5 of our Adriatic adventure and today we are in Split, Croatia. Our aim for today is to explore Diocletian's palace because I am a historian by trade and Natalie really enjoys classics, so that should be something we both find interesting. I apologise if you just heard that ding, by the way. We've just pulled into port and the captain is now talking and telling everybody about the weather and where we can get off, etc. It's very rude of him to interrupt me. we have plans to watch Newlywed, Not So Newlywed. I don't think this ship calls it that, but it's basically Mr. and Mrs. and people always say utterly hilarious things. And then we're going to go to the crew talent show, because crew talent shows are always very funny and you get to see all the secret things your crew get up to when they're not at work. So, same things as always to start with. Glasses Ray-Ban, bracelet Pandora, necklace Rosie Brown. My t-shirt is J. Crew. My skirt is Primark, and I am wearing a slightly less battered pair of Gazelles.
Same deal, work head to foot. My earrings this time are all from H. Samuel. My little clip is from a little shop in Richmond. Watch is Garmin. This particular fidget ring is also Etsy. And my necklace, not a clue, I wear it all the time, it was a present. My jumpsuit was actually made for me by my nana. And same sandals as the other night, just from Clark's.
Good morning team, it is day 6 of our Adriatic adventure and we are in Kotor, Montenegro. We have both been previously and already knew that it was absolutely beautiful, so I got out of my bed this morning to watch us sail in. Natalie stayed in her bed because she is not a morning person and we have both been before. I looked insane because I got dressed like in the dark, because obviously we're in an inside cabin and Natalie was asleep. So then I was walking down the corridor with my shoes in my hand and all the cabin stewards were looking at me like I was insane, but that's okay. I still got to see a really good view and I got some footage for you guys. Today our plan is that we're going to go up the cable car, because the last time we were here in 2022 the cable car wasn't open yet and it's meant to have a wonderful view over the fjord. So obviously if we make it up there I will show you some footage, and if I don't make it up there I will come on later on and explain to you what we got up to. we successfully made it to the cable car, so I'm going to come on and give you some tips for how you get there from Montenegro, Kotor's old port, all the way to the cable car, because they're not actually in the old town, they're like a car journey away. So they've only been open a year, and there is no direct bus route between Kotor Old Town and the cable car. I think the government is hoping that eventually people will build things around the cable car and they will become more of a destination, and therefore a bus route will run there. But for right now, you have to get yourself there. So you are going to walk along the dock. If you walk just past the old gate where you go into the old town, there is a taxi rank on the opposite side of the road. You're going to cross the road. You want a taxi that has a taxi number on it or a taxi sign on the top. You do not want a private minicab, because they have quite a reputation for ripping people off. We went with red taxis and the driver was lovely and very safe. So if you are looking for a specific taxi company, and if you want to book one in advance, if you pop red taxis Montenegro or red taxis Kotor in Google, they should crop up. You are going to want to agree a fare with your taxi driver before you get in your taxi, because there is some horror stories about how much people have paid to get to the cable car. For reference, you should be paying between 15 and 20 euro in order to get to the cable car. So make sure you agree to that price before you get in. So we paid 15 euro on the way there, and we had a lovely taxi driver from Red Taxis. She was very responsible and she played nice soothing Zen music in the car. When you get to the cable car, it is about 15 euros a ticket to get to the top of the mountain or the fjord. It is cheaper if you buy it online prior to showing up. The reason we didn't do that is because we're sailing in October and we were worried there might be inclement weather and then our ticket would be useless, because if it gets too windy, the cable car understandably doesn't run. On the way back down, you're going to do exactly the same thing as you did on the way up. So you're going to go all the way down the mountain or all the way down the fjord, and you need to make sure you've agreed a taxi price with a taxi driver before you get in. There is quite a few lined up outside the cable car, so you don't need to be worrying that there won't be any around. There's plenty around. Just make sure you've agreed to something before you get in. Also, not to sound like somebody's like nagging parent, if you are going to the top of the cable car, you're going to want to make sure that you're wearing sensible shoes. So anybody who has ever sailed to Norway and they've been up the top of the Loen skylift will know that when you get to the top of the Loen skylift, all the viewing platforms and all the paths are very safe, very flat cement that is easy to walk on, that you're not going to trip and slip over. When you get to the top of the cable car in Kotor, the viewing platform to see down into the fjord is cement, and you are not going to slip, trip, fall on that. But all the trails around the top of the mountain are what can only be described as rocks and pebbles. And I don't know if the hope is that eventually the rocks will embed into the ground and make a nice safe path, but right now it's very slippy and you're going to want to make sure you've got sensible shoes on. It's definitely not accessible if you have mobility issues. So if you have mobility issues, you will be able to look at the view at the top, but you'll not be able to go walking around the various viewing points or various hikes and rambles that are at the top of there. There is also at the top something called an alpine coaster, which nobody in our group got on because quite frankly we did not dare. But the alpine coaster will take you part of the way down the mountain, and it's like a cross between a roller coaster track and a go-kart car that you're in control of. I'm sure the view is absolutely amazing, but quite frankly I'm the kind of person who gets motion sick, so I don't think that would have ended well for me, and I wasn't willing to do it for the content. I did think Natalie might have liked the idea, but even she deemed it a bit dodgy. If you want to do that, again, go you. In fact, if you're brave enough to do that, then please tell me in the comments below that you're planning to do that, because I feel like it should be applauded. wonder what she's doing. I'll watch. It is our final night on board, so we're just going with the casual vibes. If you could see our cabin right now, it is in complete disarray because we're playing the game where you have to pack all of your worldly belongings and put them outside your cabin door the night before. So we've hid the mess from you, but just know there is chaos in here. Right, my glasses are exactly the same as all week. Ray-Ban, Pandora, Rosy Brown. My little playsuit is Mango. I promise I was less creased before, but it's the kind of playsuit where you crease horrendously every time you sit down. And I'm still wearing the sandals that dye my feet blue, which are from TK Maxx. Our plans tonight are to go to the show because it's ABBA themed and everybody loves ABBA, and it will actually be the first time this week we've been in the theatre because all of the other things were either not to our taste or very much not of our generation.
Hi. So, earrings, little pearls, not a clue. They're given me as a present. Again, a little arrow necklace, a present, so not a clue. Ring from Etsy, Garmin smartwatch. My polo top is Tommy Hilfiger. My skirt is from Zara, and trainers are Nike's kids section.